Good morning. Welcome to St. Thomas. My name is Susan Brady. I'm an assistant director in the financial aid office, and together with my colleague Dan Gallivan from the business office, we are going to share such exciting information with you about financial aid and billing. We're so glad you're here. This is the first year that the university has allowed students and parents to join together in this session, and so we hope you are going to appreciate having the opportunity to learn the information together. We have a lot of information to share with you, and what we will do is, if we have time at the end of this session, we will entertain questions. Otherwise, we do have an information table. Both of our offices have a table during the fair, and we have a Q&A session for parents in the afternoon. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to get your questions answered. Up until this point, most students have been receiving a lot of paper mail from the university. But as the school year begins, we will shift and begin to communicate with your student electronically. We will send email to the student St. Thomas email address. And so we really encourage students to check their email frequently. If a student has multiple emails, it's very easy to forward their St. Thomas email to a personal email account and be able to follow it on phones. It's easy to do, so we just hope that students will check their email. If we have paper, if an office on campus has paper that must be sent, usually it will be sent to the permanent address. All students have access to you will be given a student mailbox, which is located in the Student Services Building and by the post office, and advise students to check that post box for paper mail sent on campus. We also have an electronic newsletter, a news site called The Newsroom, where lots of information is published, official university business and other interesting information. And so it is automatically pushed out to students on a daily basis, and we would encourage you to read that so you have important dates and information, scholarship information, and opportunities as well. So that's how we communicate with you now that the school year is about to start. As a prospective student, the university is able to share information easily with parents and others who are a part of financing and helping a student plan their education. But once the student enrolls for classes and begins to attend the university, their information is protected under the Federal Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. So in order for us to be able to provide you with the good service that you're used to receiving, it's important for the student to authorize proxy access to their record, or unfortunately, we will not be able to share information with a parent. It's the student's information and it's protected. We recently sent out a letter that talked about proxy access, and I know a lot of families have done it already. If you haven't done it, we would encourage you to take care of it very soon so that we can give you the information you need. One of the fields in the proxy access setup is a passphrase, and we would really, it's not a required field, but we would really recommend that you set up a passphrase for each proxy user so that we can more quickly share information with you. The passphrase saves a lot of time. It makes it more efficient, so we would do that. So the information is available on the Proxy website. You can talk with people at the registrar's office at the information fair, but just know that if proxy access has not been granted, we will not be able to share information with you. And we can always answer general questions, but it's that student-specific information that we just simply can't share. One of the things that I wanted to cover with you this morning is talking about our billing process. We send our bills electronically because we are moving to email communication as the school year begins, and we send our bills out about the third week in August. But families really at this point want to know, what is it exactly going to cost me? And so we have a feature on the financial aid website, a bill estimator, that you can complete to get a good idea of what your actual bill will be in anticipation of getting the real bill. Now this is, it assumes that your costs are going to be the same between fall and spring. But it gives you a very good idea. You can put in the number of credits and your meal plan and your housing choice and the kinds of courses that you're taking, special fees, and it will add up this information for you. As you scroll down, it gives you an opportunity to enter in family resources, financial aid funds that have been offered, and you'll come up with a bottom figure of what is owed. Bills are sent monthly by the university, and the first payment is due by September 19th. Financial aid and scholarships will automatically credit to the student's account. All the grant money will credit to the student's account. Loan funds come in a little bit later. So if you, we want to talk a little bit about some of the other options. Just let this go through. Dan is plugging in numbers here to just sort of give you an idea, but it shows what the amount is to finance. Students who are doing more unusual, educational plans, you're thinking of studying abroad, you're planning on taking an uneven course load, you're thinking of taking a January term class, your financial aid counselor is available to help you estimate more precisely what your bill will be. But our estimate, certainly can give you a really good ballpark idea. There are some other ways that families can help pay their college bill. If you have a 529 or a Cloverdale savings account set up, the owner of the account works with the plan administrator to get the funds sent to the university. And if some kind of written document is needed by that plan administrator, you'll be able to use the eBill that is sent in August. Some families choose to use home equity to pay their share of the bill or other private resources that they might have. Some students have also won outside scholarships to help pay the bill. If your son or daughter or you as the student has won a scholarship from some private organization, please bring the check to the financial aid office or bring it to our table today if you've happened to bring it with you, and we will get the funds put on your account. Some families then decide that they want to pursue additional loan options. It's always the best bet that the federal loans offered to the student are the best options available. So if you have not yet filed a free application for federal student aid for the upcoming year and want to be considered for student educational loans, it's not too late to file the free application for federal student aid. But if a parent decides that they want to borrow on behalf of their student, the federal government offers the PLUS loan. Some of the features about the PLUS loan that make it attractive is that it is at a fixed rate of interest. But the interest rate may not be as competitive as some of the private options. So this is something that you as a family need to decide. Federal PLUS loans also can be processed very quickly. We can usually get it done in about a week. And so thinking ahead that your bill is due September 19th, you would want to make a decision about a PLUS loan in the next few weeks to be able to get it processed and here in time for the bill to be paid. Again, this is in the student's name, or the parent's name. I'm sorry, this is a parent loan program. We also have some private educational loans, and you as consumers can borrow from any program that you choose to work with. You apply directly to the lender. These loans are in the student's name. The terms vary considerably, but often a parent will need to co-sign this loan with the student. We have a private lender list on our website that allows you to look at the terms of some of the national programs that we feel offer a very good product. But you're not required to only use the loans on this list. You can find your own. Private loans can typically take 3 to 4 weeks for approval. So if this is the way that you want to go, you really want to move on this sooner than even the PLUS loan so that the funds can arrive in time to pay the bill. some of the loans, you are allowed to, on this option, select multiple loans and compare the features of them. And then should you decide to apply, the button is right there. So these are great, great alternatives for families. Okay, just to sort of summarize some of these options, if we really do recommend that students first use the federal loans that are available to them. When you're applying for a private loan, determine how much you might need for the whole year for a PLUS loan or a private loan. While you can apply term by term, it's just more efficient if you apply a single time and have the funds come in. PLUS loans can be done faster than private loans, but you've got plenty of time to do this. So as consumers, as a family, decide which of these options might be best for you and then plan. If you have questions, by all means, come to the tables this afternoon to talk with folks or visit with your financial aid counselor on the phone. Then finally, I want to talk about student employment. Every student on campus is eligible to work. We have lots and lots of part-time jobs available on campus. Some students have been offered work study as part of their financial aid, others have not. Whether or not the offer of work study is simply an estimate of the amount that you could earn, but it's up to you as a student to find a job on your own. We post vacancies for jobs on our website, on our Human Resources website, and it works just like the real world of work. Information is out there, you apply, you interview, and then you are offered a position. Our minimum salary will be $9 an hour beginning in August. Students typically work, around 10 hours a week at a student job. Some jobs are for fewer hours, some are for more hours, and it's really up to you. The student is paid every 2 weeks for the number of hours that have been worked, and you have the opportunity to assign a portion of your paycheck to pay your student bill if you want, or you can have your paycheck automatically deposited into your checking or savings account. So it works very, very well. It's a little bit early in our cycle for many jobs to be posted. The majority of positions will appear during the month of August. But if you have a burning desire to work for a particular academic department or program, you can certainly contact that department to find out about the availability. And there are just some great opportunities for students to do this. So with this, I'm going to turn it over to Dan.
Thank you, Susan. All right, my name is Dan Galvin. I'm in the business office, and my area of responsibility is the accounts receivable of the university. The biggest portion of that is your students' tuition and fees. So we'll talk about how you pay the bill and all kinds of other fun stuff. We have our own privacy spot we need in terms of how your parents get notified about when bills are due, what's due, and payment plans and all that interesting stuff. So we'll start off again. Susan already talked about this briefly. We don't send paper statements. You're going to get an eBill notification to your St. Thomas email inbox. You can change that and have it forwarded to any other email you like, and you can have it forwarded to your parents. You can set them up so they get the same notification if you're not going to be the primary on the account. Okay? We understand students aren't going to be doing all the paying for this, so make sure your parents are set as an authorized user, and I'll talk about how you do that. Proxy is really used by every department up to the extent where you can designate them for even the billing part. So we can talk to your parents if you call in. They can stop and we can check and make sure that they're okay. But we can't automatically send them an eBill because this e-billing suite is set up to have you log in and set whatever parameters you want for different things like e-refund profiles. I'll touch on those. Payment profiles, we'll touch on those. But also that authorized user. So to get the automated bill kicked out, Proxy's not enough. You have to go in. And I'll show you how you do it. If you can update your Facebook status, you can do this. Same amount of time. As quick as you type, you'll see. So around the 22nd of each month, we're going to send the eBill notification out. It is not the bill itself. It's not secure to send that out via email, so we don't do it. We just notify you that it's available to be viewed in the eBill and ePay system. You log into Murphy Online. How many students have been into Murphy Online? Everybody. Yep. You'll be there more than you know. Staff, we're all in there as much as you are. So the 19th is our next due date. This is what it looks like when you first log in. So you get into Murphy Online, you'll see an icon that says eBill and ePay system. You click on it, this window pops up. If it doesn't pop up, turn off your pop-up blocker. On campus, it'll always pop up, but if you have your own computer or you're at work or somewhere else, it may not. So just make sure that's off. Now you can see the choices you have there about payments, eBills, e-deposits, e-refunds. And on the bottom line there at the top is authorized users. And you will just click on that, and this is all it is. You just enter the authorized user's email address. So if mom has an email address, enter it. Say yes, she can view things. Yes, you'd like us to be able to talk to her. Submit. Done. We send an email out to mom. Then you want to enter in dad if he's going to help as well. Same scenario. So 2 email addresses, 2 clicks of yes. Both parents will be notified. They now have access. You go in and you set up your own private portal access. So you have access to e-billing, access to making payments, seeing account activity. That's for both the parents and student. Now when you do go in the first-time parents, when you see that bill, e-bill notification on the 22nd, 23rd of August, when you click on the e-bill and want to view the bill, this is what it's going to look like. This is a mock-up of exactly what you'll see. As you can see, everything's itemized and described when the charge went on, what term we're talking about, what it is, and you'll see the payments that have gone on so far. So like your confirming deposit, any gift aid, state and federal grants, those are going to post right away. We can do that. Same thing for any St. Thomas awards or any other scholarships that you've given to us or we've gotten in time for the bill generation. You'll notice below that the loans have not applied yet. Interest starts accruing on an unsubsidized loan the date it's dispersed. So we wait until just before the due date to disperse. So the e-bill is not going to reflect that as subtracted from your balance. That'll be a manual calculation you'll have to make. So when you look at that balance, you see that it's showing $12,950, $950. You're going to deduct that loan, those loan values at the bottom from that. That'll determine that final amount that's due by the 19th of September to pay on the account. When in doubt, call us. Call the business office, call financial aid. We're set up to help you with this. We want to help you. But that's how it's going to look. And you can see the due dates and how we structure payment plans over the course of each semester. You're not going to be billed for fall and spring together. It's not a year bill broken out. We bill by semester, and we break that into 4 equal installments over the course of the semester. J-term is a standalone. It kind of hangs out there by itself, so expect to pay that up front if you're thinking about taking a J-term course. Or if we roll it into spring with your financial aid, we can do that. But if you're on the payment plan, in any of these scenarios, it's important to note that, let's say you have a $6,000 balance you need to pay out of pocket. And on that first due date, September 19th, you pay $1,500, the first portion that's due, the minimum payment due. Fine, great, you're current, everything's copacetic. The remaining $4,500 will be assessed a 1.1% finance charge. That'll go onto the bill, you'll see it on your next statement, and then your next payment due will be $1,500 plus that 1.1% finance charge. So on October 19th, you pay that. The remaining $3,000 will accrue the 1.1. So whatever you carry, just factor that in. That's the cost of the credit extension. We're maintaining an open credit line. Not a problem for us, but at 13.2% as an APR, there are other financing options that we looked at just a few minutes ago that if you qualify for them, some of the private loans, good idea to take a look at that and compare those financing options. If you're financing one way or the other, just look to the cheapest source, especially if you're planning to pay over the course of the semester anyways. If this plan is something you said, I'll do that, but ooh, 13.2, maybe I want to look at a private loan I might get at 4.5 or 5% on a variable rate. Much better deal, you're paying over the course of the semester anyway, so you're not going to worry about the rate resetting much. Something to think about from a financing option, something to talk to financial aid about, and as a family. So I just want to point that out because that finance charge is due. It surprises a lot of folks. After that September 19th due date passes, they made their first payment, they assume, okay, I'm current. But you could be current just like on a credit card, is the analogy I'm thinking in my head, and still have a finance charge accrue if you didn't pay the entire balance. So now, students, I'd like you also to listen for just a moment. If you can pay attention to this, is a time where when you go in to do the authorized user, I'd like you to also look at setting up an e-refund profile. It may not be your bank account you're setting up. It might be your parents. I know a lot of parents are expecting to pay for this and also want any refunds ever due to you to go to them. But you have to set it up. The authorized user is allowed to go in and view the bill, make a payment, see activity, things like that, but they're not allowed to alter any bank data in terms of refunds. Because once payments are made on your account or financial aid disperses to your account, that's your money. As the student, that is yours. You're entitled to it. And so therefore, we're going to refund to whatever place you want it to go. Now, we ask you to do this because we can kick out an ACHE refund on a daily basis immediately. If we have to wait and request a check from accounts payable and mail it to you, now we're weeks out by the time you get money that you should be entitled to right away. It's PCI compliant. It's as secure as any bank account setup that you have, so if you're worried about security, it's not a big deal. We're no more exposed than any other major financial entity. Parent Plus loans for parents who borrow, in some circumstances, that might generate the refund. That's your money because the parent borrowed on behalf of the student. Then a paper check has to be mailed. We'll request it and send it to you. But we just want to bring that up and have students focus on that. Accepted forms of payment, obviously cash, but please don't come in with $6,000 in your pocket. Personal check is fine if you are not comfortable paying online. Some people are not. Not a problem. You're not required to pay via electronic payments. You can mail in a check the old-fashioned way, just print the bill and mail it off as you would any other. We'll take those, that's fine. There's a drop box on campus. If your student can't get to our office during the day at times we're in, throw it in the drop box. It's secure, it's locked, it's in a locked room with a vault. E-payment, there's two options for e-payment. A lot of folks get confused about this too. They think they must pay by credit card. That is not the case. There's a free version of it. There's two, when you do the drop-down menu, you'll see there's two options. One is to use your routing and account number from your checking account, and that is free. No problem. You can pay with that. You can save the profile. It'll be there for you every time you go in to make any type of payment. The credit card carries a 2.75% convenience fee. We had to choose a servicer to use for that, and that's what our processor charges. That's how they make their money. We can't waive that. It's not our charge. But it is there, and sometimes when there's a cash flow crunch or another major issue, that can be a good option. But I don't know of many points programs that are going to give you enough of a reward to compensate for the 2.75%. So, but I want to make you aware of both of those two options and that you don't have to pay with credit card. Students, you've all or most of you should have already signed the student payment agreement form. That talks all about that finance charge. It talks about the rights and responsibilities of you as a student with your own account. Again, this is your account now. And I want you to really let that sink in as part of this big step into college and into adulthood. This is a big piece of it. Not to be scared of. Like I said, we're here to help you through all these things. But you signed it. It's letting you know what your rights and responsibilities are, and it's telling us as a university what our rights and responsibilities are to you. So you'll be signing that every semester. When you make changes to your account, we're really big on disclosures and transparency at St. Thomas. So if you go to make a schedule change, when you early register, so you register in November for spring semester, and you decide you want to change a class in December, when you go to make those changes, you're going to see this agreement pop up and want you to acknowledge, okay, I'm making changes. I'm adding classes or subtracting classes. I'm going to impact my future bill, and it's going to be there for you to acknowledge and click on. So be aware of it. Don't be alarmed if you see it again. We just want to make sure you're reminded of that because it's important that you're aware of any financial responsibilities you're incurring. Now, it also talks about, and this is probably the most negative part of this presentation, if you have a past due situation arise. We here know, at St. Thomas, all of our staff know that life happens. No one's going to get through, we hope you get through college without any problems, but throughout life, things are going to come up. So this is probably applicable to more than just our student account. But if you encounter a situation where you can't make a payment and something's happened, injury, a car repair, whatever it might be, we're going to put holds on your registration, on your records, and on the express card usage. And I'll talk about what that is in a second. We don't do it to be, students think it's a penalty. We're trying to penalize them. No, we want to stop whatever's going on, stop the bleeding, stop digging. If there's a hole already, let's figure out what's wrong, what's happened, and how can we help you figure it out. Is it a little short-term blip that we can work through via some sort of payment plan, an alternative arrangement, or is it something that we need to talk to financial aid about and look at other institutional resources we might be able to bring to bear? Or do we need to look at an outside lender? Whatever we need to do, we want to get on that problem right away. So if you encounter that, please don't be embarrassed. We're not ever going to, no one in my office will yell at you, no one will talk down to you. Like I said, life happens. We're here to help you, and this is what we do every day, and we're successful more often, much more often than not. So please call us right away, reach out to your financial aid counselor, and we'll figure out what we need to do, because our goal is the same as yours, for you to get through school, graduate, and go on, and go nuts, have a great life. Now, we do offer an optional tuition refund program. It's insurance to protect the student and the family against loss in case of an illness or injury. So it's medical withdrawals. That's what it's meant to cover. That's what it does cover. So let's say that you're several weeks into the semester. There's a refund schedule already published on the university website. We adhere to it quite strictly. And so if you're having trouble 6 weeks into a class and decide academically I want to withdraw because I don't want an F on my transcript, there's financial repercussions for that. And be aware of it. We want you to understand that and know that schedule. That you can kind of plan for. You can make that decision from an academic standpoint and talk to financial aid or to our office, and we can tell you so you can make an informed decision. And I would encourage you to do that. What you can't plan for is a car crash, bad illness, some severe illness that you obviously didn't know was going to happen, didn't expect. And that's what this program is meant to cover. That's why we wanted to try to offer it and help families manage that risk. It's not a huge risk. Most of you are going to, like I said, be just fine. But it's there, and you can see a lot more information. You can get into the weeds with it by looking at the links that are there. We also sent home a mailer. Some of you probably already saw it. That talks about it. It has a brochure from the insurance company and a letter from St. Thomas from our office talking about how it works. So, two things I want to really make or re-emphasize before I move on. It has to be a medical scenario, and you have to withdraw from all your classes and file your claim before the end of classes, so the last day of instruction. Those are two big stipulations that we want to make sure everybody's aware of. And we can talk more about that. You can contact our office if you have questions, contact the insurance company. And now the Tommie card. You're all going to get an ID card. It's going to look like this, not as ratty and old as mine does. Yours will be real nice, better picture. So when you get that card today, it's going to do a lot of things for you. Once you get to school, on the back's a magnetic stripe. It's going to be loaded up with your meal plan, with your dorm room lock and entrance key. It's going to have, well, they got the fitness center, so you want to go to the gym, laundry, whole host of other functions. When you go into sporting events, they're going to want to see it. So this, all of us have to have this for all kinds of purposes. It also has a secondary function if you choose to use it as a stored value card. So you could decide that you want to put money on the card to use, and at any on-campus location, including some off-campus locations, you're able to swipe the card and make your payments that way. One way to do it, when you go on the app that we provide or the website, is to take your credit card and charge it to your credit card. A $1.75 charge is posted to you. Let's say you put $600 on for books, which is what a lot of students like to do. You'll get charged $1.75 for adding the funds, but you get a 5% bonus. So on that $600, you're going to get a lot more than $1.75. So that's why students and staff like to use it. But you load that money on yourself. It's on there for as long as you're at St. Thomas. It doesn't go away like flex dollars go away at the end of the semester with your meal plan. That's a separate thing. The other way that students use it, and that it can be handy, is if you charge it to your student account. In that case, it says Bill Me. You click on Bill Me, and it'll show up on your student account as a line item for $100. There's no bonus, and the next time that the eBill kicks out, it's going to be due as of the 19th of the next month. So there's two ways they use it. Some students, and just to give you some ideas of how that's used, Mom and Dad are traveling for work, and I'm out of money, and my professor says I need to have this workbook, and I need it for next week. And shoot. All right, fine. If you have to, you don't have a credit card, then just bill it, and then they can pay it. So that's one way to get around it. Or end of the semester, you run out of meals, and you need one more week's worth of food just before finals. Students will put on $50 or $100 to get them through the semester. So that's how this will work. If you lose the card, immediately, as soon as you know you lost the card, all you have to do is contact Public Safety, and they will cancel the card, and you just go in and get a new one made. The money that's on there is safe. It's not like when I say stored value card, it's not like a Visa gift card where if you lose it, you're basically out of luck. Anybody can take it and go. You can cancel that and protect it. You'd want to anyways, because it's access to your dorm and everything else. So that's another thing that's available to you with this card. And I can talk a lot more about it to parents in depth this afternoon in our session. So, but that